Fan questions at KJL Joel. Everton match did indeed put the spotlight on a need of a defensive midfielder. I wanted Ugarte to shine this season, but sadly this match was a massive red flag. Nowhere near the quality you need in EPL. Mayu also weak. Look, I think it's fair to kind of kill Ugarte. It was practice. There's got to be a player there. I think he needs to keep it simple. Hopefully Amorim can coach him up, although the way he reacts to certain things, it's like you're either with him or you're done, and we've seen him cut a lot of players. Ugarte does feel like he's on the way out. Like that after being dropped in the Europa League final, and then you have preseason, which should just be easy. You know, he kind of made a meal of it today and looked like you're not going to start him against Arsenal. And then you're looking at Casemiro, and those legs are old.
Can't do that.
Mayu needs to be playing with someone who can have the legs, because getting forward, he's so dangerous around the box. That's where he should be. He shouldn't be so worried. So Mayu's a player. Just we need a 6. We're dying for the Declan Rice.
Oh yeah, well that ship sailed. We got Anthony.
But that
instead.
type of player,
Rodri,
Declan Rice,
like a general who can like clean up shop.
It's $100 million hole.
It's Balaba at Brighton, and he's the signing you would make if you had money like Liverpool has right now. Ugarte, I think he's a talented player. I think he is stepping up into the intensity of the season. I thought he was much better in earlier preseason games. He had a howler, and I also think he gets in his head. I think he made one big mistake, and then he kept making mistakes, and then at that point, the whole fucking game was a write-off.
His stats across the last 2 years is like 17th percentile in progressive carries. Like his forward passing,
but his tackling is very good.
His passing stats are horrid. They're very, very bad. Like he's like 97th percentile tackles per game.
He's a specialist. He's a specialist.
But he cannot move the ball forward, and he can't with the ball at his feet, and he cannot pass it forward. Those are really bad things. In that position, you got to get the ball. That's like he's dictating the tempo. That's your general, right? You're keeping it easy so Bruno can work the magic. Like I just feel like that's a big hole in this team. Great point, and let's see what United do. I think we're going to try to get somebody, because Amorim's looking at that game.
He's called it out, too.
He's switching between Cass and Ugarte, and it's not there, and it's like he's going to be pounding the table. We need to get somebody in. At Torre de Corsa, we won the trophy on offer. If it was the same old team last year, we wouldn't have. What do you make of that?
I think the intensity has been different than even how we finished last season. Obviously, even versus the Europa League, I just think the boys look fitter. The pressing looks better. And I think this is where it talks about the character of players that Ruben Amorim has brought in. If you think about the signings he's made since he's been here, Dogu, Heaven, fucking Cunha, and Bumo. It's like they all have stepped up. They've all added a level of just like physicality, professionalism, especially the signings this summer. You could tell there's an intensity that Cunha offered as soon as he joined the squad. And then Bumo, he's quieter, not as kind of like loud as all the players have talked about Cunha being, but he's just a quiet force, bro. That guy is like the beard. Fear the beard. I just think the intensity has stepped up, but now we have to show resiliency, because fucking we're going to get punched in the face time after time this season. I think even against Everton, we got punched in the face, and we were shook for a bit, and that's the Toffees, bro, who might get relegated this year.
At Rolling the Deep 1995, good practice, sirs, but it ain't going to mean a thing if we're napping in the league when Arsenal come to OT. Bright spots, Euro and Bumo, Ahmad. Concerning Ugarte, Bayendir, Delo at left wing back. Team is pressing better, but again, it doesn't matter if you don't do it in crunch time. There's also another point you want to make. Who tried really hard in preseason? Leeds, who's being promoted, West Ham, Bournemouth, Everton. They don't care about preseason.
Those teams could all get relegated.
But a United who lost the Europa League final, we really care about preseason. So could you find something in that soup a little bit, being like, hey, United's probably trying the hardest because we have the most to prove after that big L that we had to eat, and it doesn't matter unless you do it in the real show at home and do it back against the wall. So, like, I agree with Deep here. You know, it's good practice. It's what we need, but we got to show up. And it's about how this team reacts when we get punched in the mouth. It's like taking a big, like, we're going to fight hard, but you got to take a big L and you got to turn it around. The thing about Sir Alex Ferguson and how he's able to work this team is that we never went on slides. We never just lowered our heads and took L after L.
Stop the bleeding.
This does it. We do not stop the bleeding. Ten Hag couldn't stop the bleeding. Amorim couldn't stop the bleeding. You got to win one, and then you got to bounce back. And this team, we need to see reactions. We need to see this team get scored on and then make a huge move forward. I feel like the Europa League final is behind us, but we do need to see this team sort of like show that reaction, show that fight, especially when we're down. That's what I'm going to look for. When this team gets down, we have to see a reaction.
That's what we haven't seen consistently enough of this team, right? They've rolled over, hard moments, fallen apart. It's all practice until it comes out on the 17th. That's the match to keep an eye on. It's going to be a big one.